Go ahead, like, subscribe, share. All those things are greatly appreciated. Let's go ahead and get right into it for today. I'm going to give you a couple props I like. Both are coming from the NBA tonight. First player I'm looking at is Paolo Banchero. Orlando, they're facing Minnesota tonight. The game is in Orlando. I like that spread of 41.5 that you see at some places. You still see that over at FanDuel. Just recently, the line has been moving up. It's up to 42.5 in a lot of places, up to 42 on PrizePicks, 42 on Jock, 42 on Dabble, and it's up to 42.5 on Betr, Underdog. I like the 41.5 that I see at Parlay Play. Let's look at this line. Let's look at Banchero a little closer. Projection on PROPS.CASH of 45.81. That's a pretty big difference. I always pay attention when there's such a big difference like this. I like the projections that PROPS.CASH gives. I always pay attention. Let's look at Banchero. You can see he's went over this in 6 straight games. Let's look at him a little closer. At 41.5, again, he's went over 6 straight games. Playing Minnesota, playing a better defense tonight. They're ranked first when it comes to giving up points, second when it comes to giving up rebounds, third when it comes to giving up assists. Let's look at the individual matchup between these two teams. Versus Minnesota, he only had 23 in the last game, which was, well, that was last year. It wasn't a matchup from this year. It looks like we don't have any matchups from this year between these two teams. And let's just look at 2023 a little closer. During the season, he's only 36%, going over 41.5, 13 out of 36 games. But again, in his last 10, he seems to be pretty hot. In his last 10, 7 out of 10 games, he's went over this 70%. And the books are leaning toward, books are pretty neutral on this. Which way you think it's going to go? I always look at JockMKT, gives me a pretty good indication where I think the line is going to be. They're not going up to 43, they're coming down to 42. So that gives me a good indication that they think it's going to be right around that 42. PrizePicks is followed at 42, below 42, below 42.5, above 41.5. Tough pick, tough, real tough. He's hot. Well, he's went over this line a lot recently. 6 straight games. Remember, all streaks do come to an end. First, a very good defense. We're going to have to go under the 41.5, under the 42.5, and under the 42. All the lines that we're seeing out of the books right now. Second prop we're looking at is Anthony Edwards, 1.5 steals and blocks. Parlay sites are not offering this. I'm still surprised that a lot of these other sites are offering it, but you're going to pay up if you like the over. Let's look at Edwards a little closer. 1.5 steals and blocks is the prop. 1.81 projection over here on Props.CASH. As you can see, 66% of the time, 21 out of 32 games. In its last 10, 80% of the time, 8 out of 10 games against Orlando. One game this season on, both of these from last season. Both games he had, one game he had 3, one game he had 2. Again, to me, this looks like an over. You're just going to pay up to get these numbers. But, you got to remember, all streaks come to an end. Like I say, 8 out of 10, he's got over 1.5 steals and blocks. You can see he's being more active on defense. This is the time of season when teams are trying to lock in get their rhythm down and do what they're going to do during the playoffs. We're going to go with Anthony Edwards over 1.5 steals and blocks. Again, don't see this at any parlay sites right now, except Flip. You're going to pay $190 to get it. But if you can find this number at the books, I would even look over on Sleeper. You may find it over on Sleeper where you can put it with another pick where you can, possibly win. That's going to be my strategy. Look for this pick over on Sleeper. Sleeper is a mobile app. I can't show it on the computer, but Sleeper is an option for tonight with this prop. If my content helps you, go ahead and hit like, subscribe, share. All those things are greatly appreciated. Helps me out in the YouTube algorithm. Premium content, you can get that over on Patreon, and you can get it on Telegram, whichever one you choose. Tools I use, PROPS.CASH, Odds Jam, link is down in the description. See you on the next video.